other words, thank you all for being here. It really means a lot. I am glad that we have all arrived in as best of states and best of spirits after our travails, our works, our labors, our hobbies to be here. We have a lot of ground to cover and a little ground to cover it in. So, for the record, are there any questions, suggestions, hypotheses, or corners we need to round off? Is everyone aware as to where we last left this coterie of brave, stalwart, undead souls? All right. So, and we are approximately 5 minutes past our hard start, so we're going to dive right into mise en scene, where we last left our coterie of stalwart undead souls. For the record, thank you all. It is a heartfelt pleasure to get a chance to play with you all and enjoy this world that they inhabit in all of the many ways that we play and they inhabit. For those of you not aware, I have recently changed jobs. I have recently helped start a play-by-post server. There are several other things in the works, and this is a vacation, a paradise unto ourselves for me. And without further ado, this is officially Steel Hearts, Rusted Souls, Season 3. Say not soft thing. Whisper gently of nothing sweet, whisper softly of nothing mild. Speak the truth, let it resound off the walls. It is a testament to the coterie as they are, that they inadvertently, incidentally, accidentally, and with all due purpose of the need to survive, that they are where they are right now. And where they are right now is dancing across the precipice of eternal damnation, and what just desserts will come from lives lived as they have been lived. Or their names being heralded into the future, their actions setting the precedent that very well might change the flow of Gary for all time. The coterie, having been bonded and bounded together in mission to speak with the very madman himself, find themselves at the Dark Cauldron. There are many various reasons for being here and acting as such, being as they are. There is still the very real danger of whom they are associating with. And that whom is the eldest, most concertedly powerful Malkavian in all of northeastern Indiana. That whom is very much a militant believer in the Anarch mission, freedom at all and every cost. Not just freedom from the tower, freedom from the predations of the normal, of the mundane, freedom from the perception of your neighbor, freedom to act and be responsible for oneself. Damn the rest. And that's a very dangerous place for kindred, who are everlasting souls, trapped in a semblance of normalcy because they need the consistent. Memories fade, pleasures lose their shine. So holding on to the standard, holding on to the regular, holding on to some semblance of normalcy, holding on to those scraps and scrapes of humanity is very important. And before them, in the round, rotund, jolly form, hiding all the madness that is the birthright of the children of Malkav, in a dark place of where no one knows they actually are, is their host. Their happy host, Arthur Caldwell, who, even in his blushed, human-like seeming, has a mania about his eyes. The moment you all step from the front counter into the back, there is a glee of madness that begins dancing and vibrating in the air around him. His passive, quiet walk, his tiptoeing, as if you will, from the counter to the back becomes a stalking, shoulders hunch and bunch. As you all enter past the curtain, you notice that he grabs a dark hoodie and throws it on as you all move further into the darkened space behind. The hood thrown on, the hood moved off his head as if he is in fact becoming something and someone else, as if in fact the mask of his humanity is falling away. Once he reaches the center point of the room, as you all look around, you see all of the gaming devices you could ever want, all of the consoles stretching back to the very first console, all of the video game cabinets casting a garish light on this center and central figure before you. And while there are humans less than 20 feet from where you are standing, So, who are you blowing up and why are you here? I don't recognize any of you from the movement. I recognize you somewhat, but that's because real recognizes real. Some of you look familiar, and some of you look... Who are you again?
I'm John Lasky. I've probably stolen some stuff for you before. And he looks at the ground, not at his eyes.
Thief. Yeah, what does corporate entity actually own anyway? I have no choice but to be okay with that. But you, the blonde, you tall, I don't know you. Why are you here? Who sent you?
I'm Nikki, darling. And I was sent by a mutual friend.
Names are for friends. You didn't give their name, our mutual friend, which means you may not be a friend. Who sent you?
I actually, out of character, kind of having a hard time remembering the name. Sorry. Silk sent us, darling. Silk.
Marcus takes a half a beat in his fancy car and steps out and looks at the cauldron, praying to God he doesn't have to run away or order a new car yet again. He enters the cauldron and tries to seek out his friends.
So while in the back, there's a moment of identity crisis, and the name of the most respected, highest status towerite falls from Nikki's lips. The doorbell jingle and jangle as it's clear someone has entered into the front portion of the shop. While outside in the front portion of the shop, you still see roughly 15 outsiders. There's no other way to place it. They are outside their own peer group. The average Yu-Gi-Oh player is roughly 17, roughly unwashed, roughly involved in various other nerd culture. But these individuals are not just Yu-Gi-Oh players. They are card players. They are the lower rung of nerddom. They are the easily accessible portions of nerddom, but they are no less fanatical about it. They are no less unwashed. They are no less affected by the norms of society, including their own. And so here it is, well past the witching hour, with them playing a tournament that is destined to win them bragging rights and a box of cards. Yet, for them, this is very much a honorable campaign, a jihad, a crusade to which there can only be one victor, and it must be them. That box of cards must be theirs. They must be the winner for both the bragging rights and the cards, even if at the end all be all, most of them will end up selling the bulk of packages from that box of cards. And as Marcus enters and sees the various versions of who he would be in this modern age, an outsider, he realizes how much things have changed for him just in as little as 2 decades, just in as little as an eye blink of a time. He has gone from true, earnest outsider, his culture being co-opted by polite society, his niche circle of associates who delved into the dark web now being a tourist attraction for suburban mothers who dipped their toe into the dark web, who dipped their toe into hacking, who dipped their... And it's just sad watching the world turn and slide more into the banality, slipping into every passion project, every niche. There soon won't be any place that actually counts as the outside, save persons like Arthur, who are unsettling, who are savant-like in their madness, their adherence to the extremes, who would damn the world for one chance to laugh as they prove everything about normalcy wrong. And as Marcus enters and looks towards the dark black curtain to which he knows is the true sanctum of the dark cauldron, he hears a snarl from behind the curtain, which most of the people who play card games here are not unaccustomed to. Silk!
Yes, she spoke very highly of your thought.
That craven, ridiculously dressed. How do you ever say that she's a friend of mine?
Marcus at this point goes very quietly and only to himself and like the nerd to his immediate 3 foot left. And proceeds to the black curtain.
Stepping through, it is obvious that Arthur has led the entirety of the coterie onto a trap. It's nothing anyone immediately would think of. Who would do something so stupidly reprehensible as put themselves at the center of a pressure plate? Who would do something so stupid as to be willing to die and engulf all the human souls just beyond that curtain in a ball of God knows what death? But it is clear from where he is standing that the only thing that has kept him from leaping upon Nikki and Lasky and Leonetti and Gigi is the fact that he is the dead man's switch. He is attempting to anger them by extension, his beast prowling around not only his edges of sanity, but theirs as well. The air heavy with the very real venomous slobbering slather of his accusations. Silk, are you serious? That? No.
We're looking for the Baron.
because of Silk? You want to kill the Baron?
No,
You
we're looking
want
for the
to
Baron.
kill-
We don't want to kill anybody. We want to rescue wherever they are. He looks up directly at his eyes. We want to help everyone.
Would you do me a favor and stare into the mirror as you say this? Because staring into Arthur is the very real dark mirror to all of the voices that have ever bombarded John's mind, even during his living days, even during those nights spent covered in vitae-tinged sweat, coldly soaking into his death as his sire taunted him just enough to keep him cognizant of all the myriad voices around the world bombarding him, the voices hiding in his blood, the presences that were just there to be touched if he but could focus. His tutelage, his education as to what being a kindred was, to being his kindred, to being who he was not an easy thing. Death never is. But having the entirety of your mind open to the millions of possibilities and how the world changes based on emotion, thought, and the action binding the two. It is enough to shatter a million minds. There are roughly anywhere from 10 to 600 neurons firing, and any number of them could be entire thoughts unto themselves, and that's per second. And all of those neurons firing for John and for others afflicted as he is are in fact fully formed thoughts, are in fact fully formed personalities, constantly there demanding attention, because each of them are a ghost of the futures that could be and the presences that are. And that's what he's bombarded with, all of the millions of thoughts, neurons firing, all demanding blood, all demanding redress, all demanding attention all the time.
Marcus is gonna let that razor thin edge between the two Malkavians ride until something upsets the balance. He's not going to push it one way or the other until he has a better idea of how Arthur responds.
And as you two find, all puns intended, kindred souls in the gaze of the other, looking through each other's windows, delving into all of that knowledge, all of that potential power, all of that squandered glory, because for as many futures as there are, for as many opportunities in the present as there are, there's only one right choice underneath it all. That's fire. That's the immolation. That is the ending of things. Your pain doesn't have to continue. No one's pain has to continue. If you are but brave enough to embrace the flames, all will be right with the world. Would you be so kind as to roll resolve plus dominate for me, please?
Me?
Yes, Mr. Lasky.
Oh no. Resolve plus dominate. Okay. Difficulty? Question mark?
Yes, entirely that. And while that roll is happening, Leonetti, Nikki, as victims and survivors of wars, as initiators and bystanders to hundreds more, there is a moment when the coin of survive and death is being flipped into the air. That moment is always pregnant with a million different variations and a million different possibilities. That coin is flipping through the air in the moment. You can feel fate's hand upon you. It's almost as if fate is a former lover sneaking up behind, resting their hands on your shoulder and whispering sweet nothings of those moments. Those devastating moments of heartbreak, watching humans, kindred, and all manner of beings in between lose things that matter to them. Family members, code members, bloodlines, towns, villages. There is a tension in the air that is palpable. The Prince of Madness and the King of Sorrow combine to sing you all a story. Is there anything you're doing as Lasky and Caldwell exchange whatever it is that two madmen exchange when staring deeply into each other's eyes?
Leonetti is simply observing, trying, as he's heard these kinds of similar discussions before, heated debates, but never really cared. Slowly trying to understand what they really are, but still falling behind in it. Just observing and seeing how far these two madmen will fall into their own madness.
Nikki's just gonna watch.
Lasky, would you like to spend any willpower for that roll? Oh no, you can't. You only have 3 hunger. Well, there is that. All right. Well, fate has spoken. If Lasky were to die again, what does he see as the worst way to go?
I think he would see flames. Or wait, like emotionally, he would probably see his wife actually dying, and then him dying.
So being forced to watch the insanguination of his wife, being forced to watch the last touch of humanity that he's ever been graced with, being forced to watch all that matters to him in the world after it's all said and done. Because all of his efforts to make the world as good of a place as he can, to help it move towards the better, underneath it all has been so that his wife might enjoy a better world, a safer world for her. She is all of his hopes and dreams. And
yes.
What feeling beating heart when he looks upon her?
Desperation. Hope disappearing.
The loss of her, yes, but when he sees her after a long evening out amongst the out amongst the dead, and he comes home and his wife is there, she's managed to steal a few naps just to be awake long enough to watch him as he enters, to help him ease into...
So you know when a child sees like their favorite teddy bear, their favorite like thing in the entire world, and they just have that face like that kind of feeling.
So 2 days from now, 3 days from now, a week from now, a month from now, you find yourself that this moment, this phantasmal, this fantasy of where you are right now has faded away. The voices have stopped. You have spent the night in the arms of danger. You have managed to avoid death. You've managed to make the world a little bit better because this is another successful night of you coming home. And your wife is there as usual. Her sockless and shoeless feet, treading across the well-mopped and polished wooden floors. Your keys slide into the lock. The door swings open and there she is, smiling at you, knowing that you don't need to eat, knowing that you don't need to feed as she does, but still the scent of your favorite meal, because, well, the scent of it is often enough for you. That combined with that little small sip that you take.
Still gonna eat it.
And as you move closer to her and she moves closer to you, you watch as the floor beneath her feet begin to spark. As if each footfall is a strike of a match, the floor behind her begins to erupt and engulf the wall around her. The fear in her face is 100% factually real, because there's no worse way to go than being burned alive. However, as you turn to open the door to grab her, to leap, to flee, you realize the door has been barred from outside. Your key stuck in it, jamming the lock closed. You can't open the door. Her screams echoing in your ears because you try not to watch as all that you love in this world is burned to nothingness. But then the scent of cordite burning flesh meets your nose, and though you know better, you know you don't want this to be your last image of her, you can't help but move towards her, the beast fighting you, demanding you flee, demanding you take whatever steps necessary to escape this inferno. And you're drawn to her. She falls to her knees, the flames licking away every ounce of fat on her skin blackening. You move to her as her knees hit the ground, her screams still wailing, the air being burned out of her lungs. And she reaches for you. Her trembling, burning hand extended says, not like this. And her tears escaping her eyes immediately become steam and smoke, and what she is ends before you. Not like this. Not help me. Not stop me from dying. But death anyway but this. Not like this. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Paralyzed as you are by the beast, which won't allow you to move to her, won't allow you to die with her, won't allow you to heroically wrap your arms around her and say goodbye in the only way that matters. Trapped, frozen, paralyzed as all the world around you crumbles, the floor above falling in. You watch as her body is crushed by the weight of the floor above. You, standing where you are in the doorway, are relatively safe as the building begins to crack and fall open. The flames licking and tearing everything that was your life away from you. While outside of that moment, in the presence of the Dark Cauldron, Marcus, you've seen things everyone has. Nikki has seen wars and the degradation of man to man. Leonetti has watched as, in the blink of an eye, or to be perfectly honest, moving at 720 miles per second, the exact velocity of the shell that he fired, whole lives disappear in a puff of pink mist from a mile, well, 3/4 of a mile, nearly a mile away. He has watched all manner of evils visited upon mankind and kindred alike, and he has vowed to protect this coterie. Even though now there's no one paying the check, he is here in this moment, in this darkness, and for the first time in a very long time, there is something tugging your heart, your unbeating, cold, dead heart, and that is watching as John's face falls. Not a theatric expression of grief and guilt. No, the real devastation of a life ruined. And in that moment, there's a common tossed off chestnut, an aphorism that has been used for centuries. There, but for the grace of God, go I. Watching as John's mind crumbles, the physical reaction of that, whatever it is that John is seeing in those dead eyes of Caldwell, causes the absence of life to fall across him, the absence of hope, the void and vacuum that is the beast, drawing every bit of light, every bit of hope, every bit of any expression save the most viscerally violent and demonic, drawing it all away. And you know, there, but for the grace of God, so too would be you. But Lasky leaped on that grenade. He decided to reach out to try to humanize the monster in front of him, and in doing so, let the monster in. The Battle of Wills was over before it began, and Caldwell, who has never had any power, who has never had any authority, even being the eldest, strongest, as far as he's concerned, wisest member of the children of Malkav and Gary, has never felt in control, has never felt as if he has received the respect he deserves, has never been listened to, even as much as Baron Stevens humors him. But in this he has power. In this he has control. In this he is the monster he was destined to be. And a small smirk at the corner of his mouth, a flash of fang lets you know that this is his doing. This is all on him. What do you all do?
Marcus takes advantage of the moment, because at the moment of expressed absolute happiness is when a kindred is most vulnerable. He sees Lasky collapse under the weight of Arthur's influence. Leonti is not prepared for it. Nikki is not in the right mindset for it. But Marcus prepared for it. Reaching into his pocket, he pulls out the 3 remaining 3-channel relays that Arthur originally asked him for all those many days ago, spreads them on the table like dice, and says, "Arthur, we had a deal. The relays and a target."
Would you be some kindness? Go ahead and roll your charisma. Oh, actually, no, manipulation plus the subterfuge +1.
Subterfuge +1. Hey, rock on. As soon as I find the dice channel, because that shit is hiding from me. Where the fuck is it? Dice channel.
Roll dice here.
Roll dice. Fuck.
You know the search function works, right?
Yeah, I'm not good at it. Shut up. Soundtracks, open play, episode. That's where it used to be. What? Did you move the dice channel?
I did not.
Play farm? Character whispers, quarterly chats. Are you really sure you didn't fucking roll? Oh, there it is. Shut up. I don't want your opinion. Okay. The sad part is that was the channel I had open. That's why I couldn't find it.
You're already there. How do
I was already there. I was watching Lasky's dice rolls the last time I looked at Discord, and the reason I couldn't find the channel I was looking for is because the channel was already fucking open.
You're too old for this.
Shut it. Shut the fuck up. You said manipulation and subterfuge?
Yes.
+1.
Yes.
You can do this, man.
I don't think you fully understand the manipulation value of a caitiff. And that's +1, and there we go. There we go. Yeah, he burned the shit out of some willpower. I didn't even have to think about pressing that button.
As you call Arthur's attention, as you catch Caldwell's attention, he looks away. He blinks for a split second. He looks toward the relays. Oh, those my new toys. You can almost see him hopping on one foot, clapping. But in actuality, what he actually does is simply look away from Lasky. He looks past Leonetti. He looks past Nikki. He looks towards the table at the back of the room. And there are his toys. His beautiful, lovely tools. Toys. They are toys. And Lasky, in that moment, in that breaking of eye contact, in that reprieve, you're back in the dark cauldron. Your cheeks are wet with vitae-tinged tears. There's the scent of blood in the air, which is from you. And there's a feeling that you have at knowing that loss. And most importantly, knowing that it is always possible. One bomb at the wrong moment, someone finding out where your actual home is, where your apartment exists, willing to get at you in any way possible. That horror is out there every night in your fellow kindred. That horror is out there every night in the witch hunters that abound, that have made themselves at home in Gary because of the actions of other kindred, uncaring for the outcome. You have something to not only live for, but something that will keep you as sane as you have ever been. In her arms are comfort, in her arms are security, in her arms are safety from even the demons inside your own mind. And the threat to her and the fractious state of the kindred of Gary is something that you cannot abide by. And Arthur moves past you, sliding between Leonetti and Nikki. Of course we have a deal. It took you long enough. What do you have?
Three-channel collapsing internal circuits. Even better than what you described in your half-assed attempt at making a circuit for something that goes kablooey. You know me. I'm always one step above what I need to get done for my
half-assed? You don't understand. This switch isn't to cause the bombs to go off. It's to switch between which bombs go off when. Off is on is on. Throwing the switch triggers different relays and different bombs already placed.
Yeah,
you don't understand the imagery. You don't understand the vision. You are a mechanic and I'm an engineer.
I am a...
That's a long way of saying thank you. But these people...
Hey, these people are mine.
These people. They can't be your people. Your people don't hang around with silk. Your people don't hang around with tower. Your people are anarchs. What are you talking about?
My people are autarchus, not anarchs.
What do you think an autarchus is? You couldn't be autarchus at your age or my age without the anarchs.
We support everybody. But right now...
You don't support me. You're hanging around with silk.
I support you, Arthur. If I didn't support you, Arthur, these things would still be in my fucking hovel back in the underside of a riverside factory or melted down into parts. I support you, Arthur, but there is a bigger picture right now.
Yeah, you're not seeing it. You don't get it. We are monsters and they're trying to infringe on our freedoms. They're trying to take us from us. You can't do that. And Silk is the number one.
Silk Arthur, Silk is the least of our problems.
No, she's not.
The kind.
She made her club. She won't let me in. She's our major problem. She won't let us in. She wants us to pay all these fancy prices and dress up and not wear hoodies and not wear sneakers. And we are anarchs. We're free. We do what we want.
Sir, focus. Look at the circuitry I built for you. Look at the circuitry and focus. Triple collapsing. No one could undo any bomb you made using any one of these.
Oh. And he stops and he turns to the cabinet immediately to his left. It's a Galactus cabinet. He drops in a quarter and he goes through a series of motions of player 1, player 2, selecting and starting the first board and immediately allowing himself to die. When the ship dies before the other ship takes to the screen, he drops in another quarter. And he visibly wipes his brow as if he has just stopped something from actually happening.
Arthur, did you have a bomb in the room?
You ask that as if you don't know. You think I'm stupid? The whole point is if I am ever
Arthur,
attacked by the tower or any tower agents or any people like that are
Sure.
allies with the tower, we all go, motherfucker. We all die. There's no option. You're not taking me anywhere semblance of alive. They all die. And then you hear from in front, Mr. Caldwell, I won! And he looks at you all. If any of you all leave here, I'm wired with a dead mid switch. I will kill us all. Don't fucking leave. And he moves toward the curtain, taking off his hoodie, and the prowling, monstrous bulk that was him suddenly becomes the dainty, mincing shop owner. Oh, I'll be right with you. So yeah. Oh wow, you actually did. Congratulations, dude. You can hear from the other side of the curtain. While he's out there, dude, conversing with his patrons. What are you guys doing?
Lansky, Nikki, we need to keep him calm for like 12 minutes. Maybe 6 if we talk really fast. But sweet Jesus, he's on the fucking border. Holy crap.
Understood.
Is he always this volatile?
Always. Always.
That's...
And Leonti, it's very important.
I'm going to be quiet.
Do not shoot him dead.
Luckily for you, I have no gun.
There's every possibility that he's wired himself to blow if he reaches torpor. He is nuts. He is out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah, that I hate dealing with people like that, so you guys get to do that. I have dealt with enough suicide bombers in my life to never want to actually deal with one again. Have fun. As he just goes to the side and just... You can actually see him shaking from that thread of, like, trauma. He has dealt with suicide bombers. He doesn't like them. They are very, very dangerous to him and everyone he works with.
Leonti, just find us a way out. If I give the high sign, the magic word is pineapple. If I say pineapple, we're all leaving wherever you say we need to go. Because that's your skill.
Yeah. Leonetti, as Leonetti hears this and of his job, his duty that he must uphold, he starts looking for every crevice that they can get out with the most secure, sturdy, most likely able to get away from a bomb as possible.
John, it is so important that we keep him calm. No more mentions of Silk or any member of the Vanguard. For any reason. And Nikki,
Yes.
Do your thing. Be a calming influence. Arthur knows me, but he knows me as a bomb part supplier. He is the mad bomber that you've seen on the Muppets.
She okay?
And every anime that has ever lived. He wants to blow shit up. So the current civility he's showing is a ruse. We need to keep him calm long enough to talk to him.
He's crazy.
He's out of his damn mind. But he's our only contact with the Anarchs, and we need to talk to them. That's our goal. Talk to Arthur. Get a contact. Don't get blown up. That's the course of the plan.
Sound plan.
Mostly because my car is parked outside. It's really expensive, and god damn it, I just got it back.
Okay.
So while that is happening and while the conversation is taking place, Leonetti, you're clearly searching the room as quietly as possible to keep from attracting attention. Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your wits plus larceny?
I'll be right back.
And what's your strength, by the way? How many dots in strength do you have?
2.
All right, so you're looking for average. You're not thinking of punching through walls or anything like that. So give me a wits plus larceny. And while that roll is happening, Mr. Lasky and Nikki, with that conversation is taking place currently, where does that place you all emotionally, knowing who you are dealing with, knowing what you are dealing with, knowing that the Devil's Cauldron is literally that place where souls are boiled down, or worse?
Thinking about just keeping them calm because I'm going on what Marcus said that this dude's gonna blow us up.
Calm. Let's
Don't
get a
know
little
how.
shooken up. He's a little shooken up. Thing. But and he's never dealt with someone this inhumane before. Stilasky, everyone should want everyone to stay alive and healthy. Of course, a small part of him is like, he should blow this guy up before he blows us up. But, you know, calm.
The best defense is a good offense.
It's Cobra Kai. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Oh yeah, it's hard to get hit in the face if the guy is already knocked out on the ground, right? It's hard to watch your life flash before your eyes if the other guy is already permanently deceased.
How good is this guy with jokes?
That's a good question. You'd have to find out.
Back.
So as you all plot and plan, and Leonetti, as tropey as it is, as ridiculous as it is, this place is in violation of multiple local codes. There must be 2 entrances and exit on any place where more than 4 people are gathered in any public venue. This building does not have a rear exit in this room. There should not be anything else behind this room. But you, due to the many infiltrations and exfiltrations over the long course of your military career, understand that back wall, there was never any bad dudes video cabinets. And you only know this because you played video games on many of your posts and assignments to while the time away. It was a console release. It was a console version of several arcade games that were out during their time, Streets of Rage, and so forth and so on. It was solely a console release. They didn't have any arcade cabinets, and it attracts your attention. You move to the wall and you notice that there's a small 4mm gap between the floor and the wall. Walls are not made that way. They are part of the building. They go from, the floor to the ceiling. They are part and parcel of there. The sash, the trim covers a little bit of that, but that's an impossibility. As you move along the wall, inspecting the other cabinets that are also console only releases, you realize that this wall isn't a real wall. Well, it's a real wall, but it's not a anchored wall. There has to be something else back there. This wall has to move. The how of it, however, is what escapes you. You know that it's a fake wall. You know that these video game cabinets are not actual original cabinets like all of the other pinball machines and arcade cabinets around this room. These cabinets and this wall are actually also off of that central plate, that pressure plate that is the center of the room that he purposely positioned himself and you all on when he entered. This is a way out, but the how of it is what escapes you. And while that is being discovered by Leonetti, as he looks at the cabinets, looks at the walls, trying to figure out how to open, how to get past it, you hear, all right, guys, well, just don't worry about locking up. I'll lock up later. I got a few things I need to take care of in the back. If I don't see you guys tomorrow, just have a lovely morning. And he moves back past the curtain. The moment that he steps behind the curtain, his first footfall, that dainty, mincing, very light on the balls of his feet stance drops away. He's no longer the shop owner. He is once more becoming the true Arthur Caldwell, the true creature of night. His shoulders tense and hunch. The hoodie hung by the door is pulled on. And the moment that the hood settles into place, he slides it back off his face, and the monster is once more apparent. We have to do something about these fucking Towerites. You can help with this. So wait, you're still here? Why are you people still here? You're friends with Silk.
Arthur, focus with me for just a moment. The Inquisition is here.
The Inquisition is everywhere. The Inquisition doesn't exist. You gotta deal with Theist. You gotta deal with all of their subsidiaries. And most importantly, you gotta deal with the Knights of St. Jude's. I already know where they are. But Silk is the problem. She has allowed them to come into this city because of her wanting to suck and swallow Autarchus whole. She's won them over like the Jezebel that she is. She's pulled you all into her grips under the sway of her power, because sweet, sweet blood makes everyone fools.
Arthur, the Inquisition is real.
Not the way you think.
Here.
You idiot. There's no real Inquisition. There's no Inquisition. There's no one monolithic power holding us down. You know who's holding us down? The fucking tower. And you know who is the fucking tower here? And Gary fucking Silk. We already dealing with Modius. We dealing with Juggler. We get everybody out of the way. We gotta have freedom.
We're trying to find Juggler. We need Juggler.
We don't need Juggler. Juggler's dead. Just like Modius.
We need Juggler's descendant. We need something. We need something to bring the Anarchs together.
We have something, but you sexist, non-feminist, silk-loving, tower bootlicking failures of kindred don't bend the knee to Baron Steffens. Because of that, because you all want to be in the middle. You're giving them power. You might as well be them.
No, Arthur. The middle is where the Anarchs survive. And I want to make that happen. That's why I made you the relays. That's why the maker of Gary is your friend.
If you're my friend, if you're my friend,
I am.
Why did you bring Friends of Silk here?
I brought friends here that happen to know Silk. It's different. We also know Evelyn. We also know Mamela. We also know Josh. We also know Bin. We are Atarkus. The Atarkus are a real thing, Arthur, and we are here to make balance real.
You want us to lose. You want us to bend the knee. You want us to kiss boots. You want us to... No.
No.
Can't stand.
Darling, that wouldn't benefit us in any way. We are here to help.
Nikki has no interest in politics whatsoever. If the Tower or the Anarchs take over the city,
you're here to help.
We'll be living in my basement.
You're here to help. And he reaches under the counter, on his side of the counter, the table where you've laid the relays, and picks up the dark sunglasses that are hanging there and slips them over his eyes. You're here to help. You're here to help. You're here to help. Okay, let's prove for you who's here to help whom. And then he takes the glasses off. Look me in my eye and tell me you're a friend.
The what?
Look me in the eye and tell me you're a friend.
Marcus lines up. He's got... I'm assuming that Arthur's got some kind of weird goggle thing on his face.
He put the sunglasses on before asking and removed them, arching a brow, a light smile dancing on his lips as he offers.
Marcus is the first to line up. I'll take your test. I'll look you in the eye. And then Six will look you in the eye. And then Lasky will look you in the eye. And we'll all be able to confirm that we're looking for the balance of the city, not for the Tower. And for you, unfortunately, not for Anarchs. Not for Sabat. And definitely not for those crazy kind hunters. We're looking for real balance. Like Juggler, like Modius. We want the city to be as it was.
Would you be so kind as to go ahead and roll your resolve plus dominate?
Hell fucking no. Yeah, sure, dominate for a fucking Tremere. You're funny. No bonuses, huh?
Oh, no, my dear friend.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, he's not trying to dominate the Malkavian. He's trying to be real with the Malkavian. So dominate is not going to be what he's using. But if that's the rule, that's the rule.
All right. So, Marcus, what do you think your life would have been like if you managed to stay in Washington, D.C.?
If I had stayed in Washington, D.C., post-turn, I would have been in a fucking closet. If Duck Sharp hadn't shown up and needed me, I'd have been in the closet forever.
It's okay to be gay.
And trapped as you were in that room, in that lightless, nightless sky room, all alone, disconnected electronically from the world around you.
Well, no, I wouldn't have been disconnected electronically. I would have just been disconnected physically.
Oh no!
Because the Venture would have found a way to use me forever. I would have spent.
I understand that would be your a grasp. That would be what you would hope. But the reality of it is, you would be disconnected. You would be their Winter Soldier. There would not be any opportunity
when they needed me, and then lock me back up when they didn't.
Yes, a dirty little secret held all alone by yourself.
Right. For God knows how many years.
And in that time alone, with those few fleeting moments of freedom or believed freedom, where you reach out to your various contacts. As you're in that room and a phone is brought to you, and not just any phone, it is a satellite phone. And the voice on the other end is Naphtha.
Yeah.
The voice on the other end is Naphtha. The letter that is attached to the phone, which is literally more than a post-it. We have all of your associates. And as you look and read the post-it and hear Naphtha's voice, hey, what are you doing you guys can't be, didn't do anything. Oh, we can be anywhere. And you hear as some mindlessly focused kindred begins feeding on Naphtha, as another begins mind wiping him over and over, and you hear his mind shattering from the repeated abusive sledgehammer blows of dominate happening. What would you do?
Oh, he'd go slowly nuts. But there would be an undercurrent of there is no way these techno-broken, uninvolved, internet-phobic bastards could find Naphtha.
That's the hope. That's the worry. That's the faith that you have in your ability and his. But unfortunately, being as you are in a room by yourself, only taken out under spurious conditions at best, given years of opportunity to track, trace, and better yet, just throw a wide net, catch all the fishes. You realize that Naphtha wasn't the only person being dominated. You realize that there, across the nation, across the globe, are hundreds of different hackers in that moment having their lives taken from them. That this person, this Naphtha that you are listening to, is only one of several 100,000 being destroyed because of the fear of your touch. That while you are still here in this room, that around the world, right at that moment, the Garuja have decided that your usefulness is no longer of service. And they are erasing every touch that you may have had. They are erasing every contact you may have had with the outside world. Thousands of lives in the blink of an eye because you touched them, because you may have touched them, because you may have brushed their digital signature somewhere along the line.
That would, in the long term, and we're talking 6 or 7 years of torture, and in that vein, would break technophage pretty effectively. If he didn't go fucking nuts and kill whoever's in the room with him at any given time.
And as the sun rises and the call ends, you know that tomorrow night will be much the same. And until they have eliminated every touch of you out there in the world, that night after night, hundreds of hackers, hundreds of people who are skilled in your trade, hundreds of people you may have brushed by accident are being blinked out. They're being snuffed out. And when the last soul goes, then and only then will you be granted a reprieve. And that reprieve is the end of what you are. So you look forward to that. It's over. No more service. No more hounding. But when they come for you the next night, it is not your life they take. They take your hands. To be exact, they take one finger at a time and they grind it up. And they have a samich and a tremere suture and cauterize the wound to stop the healing from happening. And you watch it, strapped and bound as you are, as what you are is taken from you in every sense of the word. No longer will you be able to type on a keyboard. No longer will you be able to utilize any tool. No longer will you be you, erased and snuffed out.
You would have already been broken at the point where all the hackers have been knocked out. Being eliminated himself, it would have been a blow, but there wouldn't have been much left to take away.
And as Marcus's face falls as he stares into Caldwell's gaze, is Leonetti or Nikki or Lasky doing anything? Lasky has looked into that hell. Lasky has looked into that void, and he's watching that realization. He's watching that reality dance across Marcus's face. You're watching as Marcus crumbles from within. What are you three doing?
Leonetti is going very, very, that fear that he's going to be the last one of the people that he knew originally of the coterie. He doesn't want to be the last one. He doesn't want to be the last one to keep on pushing, to keep on going when everyone else seems to be dying. He keeps on going. So he's going directly to Marcus to try to help him, knowing that he can't, still conscientious that there is a mad bomber in the same room as him, trying not to be aggressive towards the bomber, but simply going to Marcus to make sure that he's not lost.
Well, the beautiful thing about gradations, the beautiful thing about gradients, the beautiful thing about one thing fading into the next is that nothing is ever truly ever gone. It's also the fundamentals of quantum theory, that everything is everywhere where it has been or will be. And in this moment, Marcus is here and not. As you reach Marcus and initially gently nudge his shoulder and try to get his attention, he's locked on Caldwell's eyes, but you moving across Caldwell's view, entering into his gaze, causes him to blink and look away. What are you doing? We're trying to find things out here. You're trying to hide the truth, aren't you? And as you look away, Marcus, you're in the dark cauldron. You realize what monsters exist out there in the world. You realize what life is left for you if your usefulness ever becomes a threat openly to those around you. You know that loss is only the beginning of the hell that they will attempt to put you through. They being kindred, both Anarch and Tower, both near and far. Your usefulness buys you time. What you do with it is, well, up to you.
Do I have any chance to react to any of these revelations while Leonetti is distracting?
You're here in the dark cauldron. What are you going to do? Leonetti has roused you to the now, not to the then and to the will be, but to the now. You are here in the dark cauldron. Your coterie of associates are around you. Leonetti has risked the ire of the mad bomber himself to pull you back into this moment, to break whatever it is that you all were viewing, whatever future, present, past that you all were viewing. Leonetti put
the last thing I remember is looking into Arthur's eyes and now I'm reawakening to that image.
You're back here, yes. All of that future past, well, that potential is still there in your mind, but you realize that now it is, in fact, in your mind. It was a potential past, a potential future. It is the weight of being the maker. If you stop being useful, if you stop being the maker, then, well, hell is the balance.
For the momentary seconds that he surfaces again while Leonetti is being a distraction, Arthur, stop.
But he clearly is not a friend. He knows Silk, and he's getting between our truth.
Arthur, our truth is that we are kindred. Anything past that is going to get us killed until the Inquisition is handled. The Sash and those crazy Leopold, whatever they're fucking called, bastards. Everything past that doesn't fucking matter if we don't handle that.
If it makes you any comfortable, darling, I'll go next.
Pretty. You, who are clearly a friend of Silk's, you want to see what the truth of our moment is.
I'm an associate, not a friend. Loose time, darling, loose time.
Farmer, are they friends? Are they really friends? Is there a truth underneath all of that association?
There's truth. There is truth. I know Nikki. I helped her set up her protection from the tower and the Kine.
And that is what I'm trying to get back.
I know Leonetti's truth, that he is always seeking anonymity. I know my truth. You know my truth. You've been to the farmer's market. You think all those relays for all of those crazy bombs and incendiary devices came out of thin air? You think the tower would allow me to make those things? No. They would not. I made those things for you and for your cause because I believed that making those things would keep us free.
Would you be so kind as go ahead and roll your charisma and persuasion?
No. Dude, you really overestimate what a K-teeth can fucking pull together. You were killing me. Holy shit!
Nice. Oh.
I'm ready to look into the eyes of the beast.
Arthur, you don't.
So you're willing to sacrifice for each other, Lasky and Farmer, and what's your name? Nikki and Leonetti. Leonetti. Bogdanville, the mercenary, the child of Baron of South Haven. You are hired gun. You don't have any truth. You only have money. You work for whoever. That's fine, I suppose. But you're willing to look into the truth for each other. You're willing to get to the bottom of things. Here's the bottom of the things. Are you Anarch or are you Tower?
I'm neither.
We'll
I'm a hired gun, as you said.
We'll look into the bottom of everything. We'll look into the bottom of the tower. We'll look into the bottom of the Anarchs. We'll look into every truth that is out there. But right now, we need...
Are you Tower or Anarch? Are you Tower or Anarch? You have to pick a side. No matter how far from the middle you are, no matter how close to the edge you might be, in the end all be all, there is no such thing as someone who dances on a razor blade right in the middle.
was a
You gotta
carcass.
decide. You lean one way or the other. You walk one way or the other. One of your legs is shorter than the other. It determines which way you bend. It determines which way you walk. You can walk in a straight line forever and never actually be a straight line. This is what I'm saying. This is what you understand. If you don't pick Anarch, the tower will consume you and will make you work for them. We, the Anarchs, want you to work with us. We want you to willingly
Arthur,
come work with us. Or work for them and take whatever comes. It's up to you. I believe that you all are in this moment together. Well, you may not be friends of Silk. You don't realize the subtle, dangerous allure of the foot being placed on your necks. You are giving them opportunity to take everything from us. You bend for them, and you will never stand straight again. You give to them, hoping that they will honor and respect you, but they will take everything.
Arthur, the Anarchs will take from us almost as fast as the tower will take from us.
We don't want anything.
Your only
but
balance.
friendship. We want your loyalty. We want you to hold the banner with us, not for us.
The only balance we can achieve is to find out what happened to Juggler and Modius. To go back to what we were.
They're dead.
I don't know that. No one knows that.
How do you not know that every kindred is dead? Are you not a kindred? Are you a breaking in the masquerade?
I know kindred are dead. I know I'm dead.
Wait, if everyone's dead because we're all kindred here, how come we haven't blown up since you have a dead man switch?
It's the unlife.
There's different levels of dead. I can show you the difference. And he moves toward the packing machine.
Please no. And also, please stop enticing a mad bomber.
What? I'm not mad. Not really. No one's ever really mad. I'm not angry at you all for choosing wrong. I'm not angry. I'm not. I'm just disappointed.
We haven't chosen because we do not believe that Juggler and Modius are gone.
Yeah.
We believe that the two still remain, and if we bring them back, or bring their sires back, we can return Gary to what it was before the Inquisition wipes us all out. I used the switches that you designed to kill, eviscerate, explode, otherwise make unalive members of the Inquisition. And I thank you for that. But I need you to give us time to find the new balance that Juggler and Modius had before. We need to find a new balance now. I don't ask you to trust. I don't ask you to join us. But I ask you to let us have the time, the mere minutes, seconds, hours, days, or weeks required to find that new balance that Juggler and Modius maintained for so many years. I don't want the fight. I want the peace. And then Evelyn and Silk, or whoever decides to take over, they can do whatever crazy crap they want. And when that happens, you and I will play Dungeons and Dragons in the Cauldron and watch the world burn. But for now, I want to make the peace happen.
You're stupid. You're crazy. You have nothing but death ahead for you and everybody you lead down this path. I believe in freedom. As you have the right to choose. You can choose wrong. It's up to you. That's fine. So,
then let us meet Evelyn.
sure, something like that.
I don't ask for a lot. And
You're not her. You don't deserve to meet the Baron. Yeah, you say you're not Camarilla, so you don't deserve to meet one of them either. But if you're looking for what fucking happened when some asshole went to the city and set Chinatown on fire and tried to kill all the Tremere and caused the Vanguard to focus their attention on my fucking home, you need to go find Clay McDonald. The old man runs the junkyard. He saw the car, the white car that those assholes drove from the city and had the Vanguard in their wake. The SUVs came because of them. And I'm going to blame it on the Anarchs. We don't fucking do stupid shit like that. Who fucks with the Wan Kwai? Only death comes from fucking with the Wan Kwai. Someone fucked with the Wan Kwai and pissed off the tower in Chicago. And of course, like always, Gary has to bend their knee to the tower because the tower thinks they rule Gary. And they made Juggler disappear. I'm not saying he's gone. I've talked to Ghost constantly, and he never mentions Juggler. But he's dead. Dead as dead can fucking be. He's gone. As gone as can fucking be. And it's because some asshole, some tower right decided to act against the tower. It makes no sense. But they did it. And now we have to bear all of you cowardly, craven people who refuse to choose correctly. And while I hate that you won't choose, you won't support us, you won't help us, but you want our help to help you with other things. Fine. Here's the help. Clay McDonald. And I'll tell you where he is for $15,000.
I will pay you whatever you want. That at some point, a Tarkus can be a Tarkus. And Anarch can be Anarch. And Tower can be Tower within Gary. We have that potential. We had it. We had the great peace that every other city has ever wished for. I want to get us back there, and I will do whatever you ask. I will get you whatever prize you wish to make that happen.
15. No, you look at how you're dressed. You got money recently. Make it 16.
16,000? 16 blood? 16 kittens?
16,000. Who wants kittens? Kittens are too much like vampires. You don't want more vampires around. Are you stupid? They'll eat everything. They will shit everywhere. So that's why I had to kill the few we had running around here.
I have been in your children for the last decade without problem. I have bought every book and every gaming supplement that has existed. You know I support a Tarkus, and you know that I don't care whether you're Anarch, and you know that I don't care whether some of the people who bought from me at the depot were fucking tower. These things are not surprises to you. You are not living in a hut. I have never been capable of subterfuge or stealth. I don't hide among the shadows. I am a friend to the kindred, and I am a friend to you. And I'll do these things. And if you want $16,000 or 16,000 pounds or 16,000 fucking euros, you know I will find it and I will bring it to you. I'll bring it to you by hand.
David, transfer it now. You can do it. Come on, let's go. Come on. Here's my routing numbers.
Darling, all my funds are tied up into my shop, and my shop is inaccessible at the moment.
Make it accessible. You should already have a ramp for the handy-capable. That's rude of you to not. You are a monster.
Marcus pulls out a memory stick, 128 mini SD, and says, Here you go. I don't even know how much money this is, but this is for you to believe that I am working for all of us.
A USB is only $8.99 at Micro Center. They're on sale.
I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to curtail you, but 128s are fairly cheap now. It may have been a while since you went to Micro Center, considering Micro Center is no longer a business.
What are you talking about? They're over on Hill Street.
Yeah, they were. They were on Hill Street, but Micro Center got bought up by Best Buy about 4 years ago.
Impossible. I don't shop at big box stores.
I know. I'm just saying.
Would I know how much that thing is worth?
A USB? He honestly is 4 years out of date.
It's 128 gigs of information. It holds 17 Bitcoin on the surface, but holds links to another 17 Bitcoin of contact outside of the US. It's a big chunk of money. It's gonna cost Marcus like a merit to give this off. It's not inconsequential. I just have to convince the crazy Macavian that it's real. That might take a minute, so it's all good.
Let's hope you convince him before John has enough of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm working really hard to make sure that none of all the other 4 people tear Marcus's head off and do their own thing. Arthur, this is real money. This is real money. And it can help the Anarchs. But I need you to be our conduit. I need you to be aware of all that it means. It is me and Autarchus and my coterie, who are all Autarchus, connecting with you and with Evelyn and with Juggler and Modius, if we find them, or the ashes of Same, if they're already dead. I need you to believe that I'm working to keep us together while we deal with these crazy Inquisition light beam having fucking shotguns to keep everybody together. I just need time. My coterie, just needs time. We're not asking for you to believe us. We're asking for you to let us figure shit out. And occasionally maybe come over and play D&D.
As you're talking, he moves over to the Galaxis cabinet, lifts it up, and there's a actual laptop that's connected and plugged in via the cabinet. He opens the laptop, he plops in the USB and runs several data scans to make sure that there's no virus. And once he comes back with no virus, he pops it out and moves to the old cash register, slides it to the side, and inside the cabinet where the old cash register is actually a desktop, but it's plugged into the flat top screen that's facing up. He pops in the USB, and despite all of his acting, all of his mimicry, and all of his purposeful asides to get to the truth of the matter, and even though you are not in fact Anarch, which is where his loyalties lie, and where you all were received a discount of several different things over the years, let alone in this moment, looking at the mass of money that is there, for a split second the monster drops away and there's nothing there but shock. Just for a split second, it's a flash and you miss it. It's a flash of lightning. It's a trick of the eye.
I saw it.
It's all smoke and mirrors. Then he takes the USB, unlocks the cash register underneath, which is actually, biometric. Drops the USB and closes it. Slides the cash register back, turns the desktop off, and takes off the hood. When he takes off the hood, his face is serene. It's placid. It looks like the sort of face that you would welcome you into the shop to play game after game after game. Even when your mother and father said you should be at home or you should be at school, as long as you don't do it too often, he'd be there to open the door and let you in. And when you got sleepy, and he'd of course let you crash on the couch over there in the corner. It's a great guy. So let me get this straight, Marcus. You're saying that even though you're not an Anarch, and there's nothing wrong with being wrong, but that you're not a Camarilla either. And that you are trying to get to the bottom of what's happening. Well, there's nothing really happening. Some Towerite attacked and took Juggler out of commission. We don't know whether he's dead or not, but he's definitely gone. Like, he's dead, but he's not gone. We're not quite sure. Lots of rumors floating around. And Modius, I'm pretty sure, is actually dead. I heard that there was an attack, and I saw once news spread that Chicago will be sending Vanguard down here to put their boots firmly on our neck. So there is that. But I do know that the car, well, I was actually going to send you on a setup. There's an ambush. Clay McDonald's an old, what do you call those? Oh, he's an old ghoul. He doesn't really like Kindred, but he needs us to stay alive. And so he bootlicks the Camarilla just like everybody else. And he's, he's a cantankerous old free ghoul out there running the junkyard. But the car was towed to his junkyard, but it's not just any car. It's actually loaded with details in regards to people responsible. I did a reading on it and saw a few things that I wasn't really very happy with, and so it's not a place that I like to go back to. Certain things you just shouldn't look into, like the dark and darker parts of the dark should not be poked. More times than not, it's an angry kitten that you thought you killed a month ago who's actually been feeding on your blood without you realizing it, and is now a holy cherub. You know those situations. We all have them, right?
You speak from experience? Interesting story.
Well, yeah. Who hasn't accidentally Googled a kitten and had them be, roughly, 6 months old for the last 10 years? And, it's everybody. It happens. We all, it happens to the best of us. Some things happen.
And they are cute at that age, you have to admit.
Could you tell us the name of the jump car that this car is at?
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's at McDonald's. It's right over, on the west side. It's not too far from the board where Silk's place of business is. It was taken down the expressway. It was hidden there on purpose because no one would ever think to look right under their nose for all the secrets that they're looking for. It's one of the few things about the tower you've got to understand that all of their work to protect kindred kind can be undone easily because they have all of these rights and rules they have to honor and abide by. We're able to play a little faster and looser. Choice being what it is, consent being what it is. You guys understand, right?
Of course, Tom. But you raise very interesting points. To explain, the Camarilla did have us look into the disappearances of the Barons, correct? Well, if that's the case, why would they have us investigate if they're the one killing them?
Because the Camarilla is the Camarilla. They want to always look to be looking at everything, even if they themselves caused it.
But I also see another strange similarity or coincidence. Sorry, my English is not very good. But also, the night I lost my shop, the very next evening I had to go and talk to Camarilla. Could it be possible that they've also put them on their radar to make us more pliable to make us more agreeable to work with them?
That is definitely something they do. Of course, it's also something that some of the other barons would do too. Luckily, Stevens is not that way. And despite everything that I found that says that ES ordered the attack, that could have easily been faked. I heard that the Camarilla really are not led by Silk, but by some other Dux Bellorum or Duke Bellorum or whatever they call it. There's a secret hand behind everything. I've never met him. I hear that he comes with a high regard, and we're actually looking for him now. We got a few roving bands out there on the street to try to pinpoint where they might be because he has to lay his head somewhere. The moment we find that, it's all downhill for him. What?
It's Dux Bellorum.
No, it's Evelyn Stevens.
No, what you're talking about among the Camarilla, the title is Dux Bellorum.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
You're just going in circles.
You won't find him. No matter how hard you look, you won't find him. And if on the seriously off chance you come in remotely close to him, there will be dead bodies for a 3-mile radius. The answer is not fighting the tower, Arthur, as much as we would like it to be. Fighting the tower directly is not going to get us what the Anarchs want, or the Autarchus, or even the tower citizens within the city. Because if a Dux comes in, if a Dux Bellorum comes into the city, he will lay waste to so many of us to pave the way for a tower incursion that Gary will no longer be Gary.
Tick-tock. Just the clock. We are wasting time. Keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I get it. You're Anarch. We aren't. Or Camarilla. Why can't you see that? But you can, and...
Because that's a lie. That's a lie. You can't be Anarch and work with the Camarilla. And And you can't be Camarilla and declare yourself independent. That very much is the foundation of being an anarch. The autarkists are the lazy children of the anarch movement. And the only thing here that we're trying to get you to understand is that to be autarkist, you are anarch. You want the freedom to choose. You want to be you. That's the foundation of the movement. You can dress it up any way that you like, but if you like vanilla ice cream, you like vanilla ice cream. Whether you put nuts in it or not, it's still vanilla ice cream. You can sit there and bandy about and try to hold your walls. I'm separate. I'm a special snowflake. I'm autarkist. But the truth of the matter is, you just like vanilla ice cream with nuts in it. And that's fine. And that's fine. You have the right to choose. Which is the very foundation of our movement.
Arthur is not wrong in a couple of ways. The Autarkists are non-Camarilla because the tower won't let us survive if we're unsupervised. The Anarchs won't let us survive if we're not a member of the Anarchs.
Why should we offer protection to someone who shits on what we are, even though what we are makes them possible?
It's... Arthur, I understand. It's like somebody who's a steelworker wants the pay of a union steelworker without having to pay union dues. I get it. I understand. And I can make others understand. But we need to get Gary under control right now. And right now, the biggest problem is the Inquisition. It isn't our internal conflicts.
Technically, the Anarchs are part of the Camarilla.
Sash, the St. Judas group. They're going to kill us all. Down to the last fang. If we don't figure shit out.
Here's what you need to figure out. Here's what you need to figure out. Here's what you need to figure out. Who framed Roger Rabbit? When I went over the stupid white car that the... what do they call themselves? The Vanguard said was responsible for the attacks on Chinatown. That stupid fucking car had a note, a handwritten note, and I've seen Evelyn's handwriting every way that you could possibly imagine. It was not her hand. It was not her writing.
And it wasn't so.
Yet it's...
I read her.
I haven't seen her.
Like a book. Like a book. She is concerned. Very concerned. In the way of like, oh no, I might get caught. In the way, like a lost lover. Like a lost, long lost lover. It wasn't the Camarilla and it wasn't the Anarchs then, as you say. So we need to investigate and we need to work together. Together.
There's no together. If you work with the Camarilla, they will begin to pull you in. They are like the thing. They absorb everything around them. Okay, hang on. We're friends. I've been paid. I have to be polite. You guys are customers. Would anybody like Pop-Tarts? Can I offer you a refreshment?
I would like
something to help you while you make your purchase.
Actual help, please.
I am helping. You all are standing in the way. You're not accepting what you are, but that's fine.
Okay, we're Anarchs then. Right, everyone? I'm an Anarch. Leonetti's an Anarch. Marcus is an Anarch because we're not Camarilla. Give us the thing we want. It's taking so much time.
Is who brought the Vanguard here? And I can't tell you who brought the Vanguard here because I think the Vanguard brought themselves here. That's what you're not getting.
Talk.
Somehow they knew the attack was going to happen. They were already mobilized. The Camarilla is anything but quick, and they arrived less than a week after finding the car. I found the car. I allowed them to move it. And when they make the paperwork for the tow truck driver, I just simply reached inside his head a little bit, tweaked things. So they dropped it at Clay McDonald's. An out of the way, independent ghoul who would need to be bribed by blood, which would be beneath all of those precious Camarilla Moors. They'd never find it. They don't have any proof. They can't follow up on their attempt to sabotage and set up Baron Stevens. But I think that was their plan. I think whoever is pulling these guard dogs' chain to, as you say, have dead bodies within 3 miles of wherever I think they are responsible for everything. The person behind the Vanguard, the person that they are bootlicking and marching through the street like they are part of the Empire. Dun 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 dun. The Emperor behind them is the problem because it was a setup to make us the fall guy. And you are carrying out their work because you want to find the car and find the setup, find the evidence that says that the Anarchs were responsible for the attack in Chicago. We didn't. We were too busy. We're doing things, namely minding our own fucking business. So you want to be helped? Here's the help. You are being played for fools. You're being set up as patsies. When we give them the information they need to kill us all, you'll be in the grave right alongside us.
Is this dude even speaking his truth?
If what you say is true, then my original theory may be right on the money that those hunters are pointing us against each other to destroy us from the inside and to sweep away the winners. Oh, I want to kill them so badly.
Then just go to the airport, take them all out in one fell swoop. But using bombs draws too much attention. We don't want more of them here. We want them to fucking go away so I can kill all the goddamn Camarites.
Yeah, I understand you.
Can't kill them all.
How do we...
Can't kill anyone.
All of them. If we leave just one, they will multiply like roaches. We have to kill them all. We have to declare this is a free state of the Anarch movement. We have to earn our stripes. If Chicago is going to be the gleaming jewel of the tower, then Gary will be the dark crown of the Anarch movement, just like Boston. Just like Miami. Just like Westphalia.
The hunters.
Just like Boise.
Police.
There is no chance, Arthur. There is no chance that the White Tower of Chicago would allow Gary to exist as an Anarch Thorn. It will allow what Gary was before under Modius and Juggler.
Politics aside, can we first figure out how to stop the things that are trying to kill us before we start trying to figure out who's going to kill it, how we're going to kill each other?
That is my primary concern, is that the Inquisition is too deeply embedded. I can't drive a car in this city without having to worry about taking a bullet to the face. I have lost too many friends, enemies, and associates.
But the question is, how do we get them out?
There's two options. There's attrition and there's denial. We make them pay so big a price for being here that they leave, or we make it so boring to be here that they leave.
The problem is that depending on who's backing them, I agree, I want to deny them so badly. But what happens when that just encourages them. I mean, the Middle East is a good example of the Middle East crisis was a good example, and is, I think. I've not been keeping up with that of recent times. Bounty hunting is getting annoyingly time consuming. But anyways, that's an example of if there's something that they want, if an individual wants, and they're not afraid to sacrifice people for it. They're going to sacrifice. They are going to keep on causing this bloody conflict until they get what they want. So the question is, how badly do they want our existence erased from Gary?
How badly are they willing to get us erased versus how many lies are they willing to tell? Because
I think that we found a way to figure it out. If we can show that the government, that the people who are sending them are only doing it for the persecution, if we can pin it onto a certain race, even better, they will be in hot water to figure out, because that's not a single police officer. They're funding the system itself is broken, and if we convince enough people, if we can convince enough, and even better, themselves, that what they're doing, those that do not know of our existence, do not have hints of our existence, their backbone will break.
And that's my point. The Anarchs, our friend Arthur here, if he's willing to get us in touch with Evelyn or whoever's fighting the Anarch right now, and if we get in touch with the Tower leadership, we can combine our efforts to make the Second Inquisition look stupid.
Arthur, I'm not going to say anything about the long-held conflict between the Towers and the Anarchs, but doesn't it seem insulting that our food, the lowly creatures that they are, is there trying to raise a fist to us? It's ludicrous. They wish for our extinction, for we feed upon them, but we do that because we need to. How dare they challenge us to such a degree for us seeking to exist? Let us get rid of them, and then we can go and kill. We can go back to our quarrels. It is simply something that is outside of kindred society, threatening us. So we must bite back. It is your decision to help or deny us. As you said, the choice is yours to make.
Fine. You want to meet Evelyn? I'll make you meet Evelyn. And then he steps back past the curtain. You can hear the door opening, the bells jingling and jangling. As it closes immediately, and you can hear the locks being thrown. Seven locks later, and he returns back into the back room. All right, look around, find a seat. She'll be here in a couple of hours.
Marcus is immediately obedient. Finds a seat center stage.
And if he makes himself comfortable.
John sits right next to Armor.
Is this right next to whom?
Armor. Marcus. Technophage.
Ah, armor. Yeah. Sounded like you said armor. Wait, who changed their name to armor?
Yeah, his mic sucks a little.
What do you mean my mic sucks? How the fuck? My mic is
We've all been trying to figure that out. But along the way, as you sit next to Farmer, there's a lot of conversations as Arthur goes about doing what is almost possible to believe actually takes place. He's actually spraying down and cleaning various substance surfaces and actually sweeping the floor and then actually running mop water. And despite all the looks of the place, it is clear that when no one is paying attention that he clearly cleans.
Hey, Farmer, you play D&D. I've always heard of it as a hobby, but I've never been able to really enjoy it. Is it fun?
I played D&D for years before the venture got a hold of me.
Huh. Is it fun?
Oh, it was so fun. Until I figured out that vampires and lupines were the real deal, and it was just more politics as usual. D&D was what I spent hours on every day.
Sounds fun. I had some old buddies before my death that always said that it was fun. I ignored them. We were in war, in a war-scape, but so, living the high fantasy chivalrous dream was not really appealing. It was more of a over-glorification of the soldier, but it's gotten interesting to me now that I want to escape this life of just fucking death.
That's exactly what D&D is.
That is the advantage of the kind game, is that it allowed you to be the hero of your own story over and over again.
I have no idea what this Dungeons and Dragons.
It's a role-play game.
This sounds kinky.
Meta.
Yeah.
It was basically the acting out of heroic episodes with the inclusion of magic
Where is Evelyn?
and soul. But effective. It was impressive.
Like the great stories of old. I understand.
Yeah, essentially, for what I hear, it's essentially people turning Arthurian legends, Hercules trials, and essentially just saying, what would we do better as choice makers?
And speaking of choices, you guys have whiled away quite a few moments. True to his word, strangely enough, there's a knock upon the door. You're not sure exactly what signal he used or how, but when he went to the door and came back, there was clearly a signal translated to someone near enough at hand to see. Arthur, this better be good. We don't really have time for this. You know that there's some... I know, but there's... Why aren't you wearing your hood? Oh, they paid for help. They're in the back room. Yeah. You'll probably need to talk to them. Careful. Hopefully you brought a gun. They have a hitman back there with them. Oh, okay. And just for anybody, no, they said they were anarchists. I know they were lying or just humoring me, but I don't really think they're much of a threat considering that I had them all wired to blow. They took the chairs offered. It's fine. Just make sure you don't step in the center of the floor because that'll double activate and everyone will go. Arthur, what did I tell you about booby trapping? Oh, but it's what keeps us safe. All right, fine. I don't stand in the center of the floor. Can I lean against any of the video games?
Oh, yeah, but the place is armed already, so just stay away from those on the east wall. Those are, wired. That's the double safety.
Fuck is wrong with this fucker?
All right, so all the games on the east wall, stay away from. Stay away from the booby trap in the center of the floor, because that's a dead man switch. If I step off it without dropping money into, yeah, you know the code. Okay, so stay away from there. Did you add any other? Just one or two, but they're not near those, and no one's found the secret exit, so it didn't go. But hopefully, I was hoping that one of them found it. But clearly, they're not really gamers. Otherwise, they would have. Arthur, what did I tell you about that? What about the kids? Oh no, it's not wired in the day. I wouldn't do that to the kids, but afterwards, damn those kids. Really? Yeah, haven't you seen the memes? Fuck them kids. All right, fine. Just stay away from the center. There's nothing new. Yeah, I'll be fine, and I'll be out here. I have the fail safe. How did you get the fail safe past them? Do you really think I clean? Why do you think I spray everything down with gasoline? If they act the fool, we all go up. Are you serious? You know that. I know, but it's better us than somebody else, right? All right, fine. Evelyn walks back in behind the curtain. Oh, where's Ben and Mamela? How you guys doing? And Gigi, hi, I recognize you. And tattoo girl, right?
Nikki, how you doing, darling?
Hi, Nikki. And Farmer, why are you dressed like a Tremere had a love child with adventure?
I'm sorry. Oh,
Get back in your lane.
of course.
What's going on, and why is Arthur holding you guys hostage?
Arthur isn't holding us hostage. We're negotiating.
She takes a step back toward the curtain when you say that. Don't stand up just yet.
Why he has it rigged to blow?
Well, he's untrustworthy. He's untrusting. The first 7 times that I met him, he almost blew us up. In fact, the first gift he gave me was a charm bracelet wired to blow. It's just his way. You can't take offense at it. It's just like how we all have our things. We all have security blankets.
Of course.
Some are more lethal than
Really
others.
take offense to that. I mean, I literally have had explosives shoved in my chest.
Okay.
Oh, that must have been
Farmer,
fun.
what do you have to say?
Yes.
You-
In fact, recently we had to remove one.
We're,
Did not feel good. Anyways.
Baron and Prince and
So-
Prince and Baron, the dance of kings and queens.
All right, so Arthur wanted me to talk to you all. What's going on? Why would you like? Why were you summoning me to speak with you?
We want to deal with the Inquisition in the near and immediate future, but we don't think that any one side can deal with it alone.
Need to unite.
The Atarchus, meaning us, Camarilla, meaning the Vanguard, and y'all.
What about my society?
If they want to join, they are open to participating.
The important thing is that the Leopolds, the Sashas, and the St. Judas have been running rampant through the city, and we need the Anarchs' help to suppress it.
They've taken too much from us. From the kindred.
Okay, so what are you proposing? What are you hoping that we're gonna meet in the middle and work together, kumbaya, and storm the SI base, kill every human that's there, and cause them to think that it's far too dangerous for them to ever come back to Gary?
That wouldn't work.
That doesn't work with humans. They grow too fast, they multiply too fast. We need to make it more attritionist, but we have secondary goals. Juggler and Modius disappeared. They didn't die in any real sense, they just fucking vanished. And while we're dealing with the Leopolds and the Inquisition, we need to figure out what happened to the leadership of Gary.
With leadership comes strength.
I am leadership of Gary. I have been doing the job. I have been doing the job before Juggler's disappearance. The lack of respect inherent in the fact that you don't recognize that. Why do you think the Anarchs have not taken to the street and burned Silk and all of her other vanguard out of Gary? It is
because you guys know that the tower will fall on us like fucking Babel if you try.
No, they won't. They can't.
They can because you are not Modius. Aren't. You just aren't. You're not Juggler. You're not Modius. Those are the names that conjured power. We need names that conjure power. And as much as I respect you, Evelyn, you're not Jug. I lived here for a decade making trinkets and nobody knew my name.
Because
Juggler and Modius disappeared and I had the region of the Tremere in my factory in a day.
Yeah, funny that, huh? You refused you refused to help the Anarchs, and the little protector
Never refuse anyone, anything.
Yes, you did. Do you think?
When?
And she pauses and looks over her shoulder. Do you think that we would have allowed Arthur the position of power he has if you had just simply said yes? Do you remember 6 months before Juggler disappeared, and I visited your shop, and I spoke with you and offered you a membership here with the Anarchs? You said you were Autarchus.
Yes.
Do you think there was no cost to that? We had been protecting you. We had been protecting Mamnela. We had been protecting the motorcycle club. We had been protecting Lasky's coffee shop and Gigi's office and the tattoo parlor. But you refuse. Each and every last one of you have refused us multiple times, and you refuse to respect my name, the real Baron behind the figurehead that was Juggler. So no, you don't have my protection. No, I'm not going to stop keeping people away. No, I'm not going to act as your fence. I'm not going to act as your guardian angel any longer. I cannot afford it. We need to be focused elsewhere. You all want to be alone, then be alone. That's why the regent of the Tremere showed up at your factory, because the word was out. You were not officially under our protection any longer. Modius and Juggler worked because I made it work. Modius would have eaten Juggler alive every day but the day he disappeared, because I kept Juggler just blood drunk enough to be functional, and I moved his haven where he laid his head every night. I did everything that you could do except for wipe his ass. And even now, with him disappeared for over a year, people like you respect his name without the real power that gave him the strength to even have a name. 20 years ago, Modius defeated Juggler. 20 years ago, a neonate dropped into Gary. A Gary native saved Juggler from Modius.
And that Gary native gave Juggler strength enough to at least put the image of moving forward. It's the reason why we haven't spread across the border, as Juggler has tried multiple times, running from the responsibility of being a baron and challenging the city and committing suicide by tower. And now that he's gone, every little do nothing, give nothing, support nothing is crying, where's Juggler? Where's Juggler? You know where Juggler is? You want to know where Juggler is? Unlike Modius, Juggler is not disappeared. Unlike Modius, Juggler will never return. Juggler provides.
Want to describe the skull?
Go ahead, roll it.
Go.
Juggler provided sustenance for every kindred that visited Silk over the last year. A little bit of him has been in every donor that she's provided. A little bit of him has been in every decocted Tremere wine that has been provided by her. Juggler is nothing more than a squeeze bag of to be dropped into what's being served there and at the Rosie too. Is how the Anarchs have been supporting themselves. He, for once in his immortal life, has been a real assistance to the Anarchs.
And the Autarchus were just a bulwark for you.
No, the Autarchus were potential free kindred because of the labor that I have put forth to protect you all from the axe of the Vanguard. You don't respect me. You don't side with me. You don't help me with unfettered. The only thing that was asked of you, help of those who have the strength to those who do not.
I was never asked. The Baker was never asked. And the only time I've ever met an Anarch that wasn't asking me to put a pretty little thing on their fucking motorcycle was when some of your hot bloods showed up at my fucking factory and tried to burn me out.
And where are those hot-blooded that crossed the line?
I never knew. I was too busy dodging Inquisition, the Tower, everyone else.
Hang on one second. And she steps back behind the curtain. Arthur, deactivate their booby traps. But what? Deactivate their booby traps. They're not Anarchs. They're not Camarilla. We can't hold them. We have to give them the freedom that they choose. Whatever that freedom rocks for them is on them. But they're friends with Silk. Arthur, so am I. Sometimes you have to use the enemy to get your goals. Let them go. All right, fine. And you hear him moving around. You hear the spray bottle. You hear several other things being slid. All right, fine. It's deactivated, but they only have 15 seconds. Otherwise, I'm deactivating again, and we're going to blow us all up because there's no point of fighting for everyone's freedom if no one... Shh, Arthur, stop. Now, permanently deactivated. Let them go. All right, fine, whatever. Don't listen to me. No one ever does. Where's my hoodie? No hoodie. Just deactivate, let them go. When I leave, you can put your hoodie on. If you put your hoodie on before I leave and before they exited the building, I will make sure she never even drives by here. You wouldn't. I very well would. Let them go. All right, fine. Spots back behind the curtain. All right. Let's step outside.
I follow her.
She walks back out the front door, holding it open for everybody to trail out behind her. Take a look out there. Give it a few minutes.
And you guys can see the road that's right there in front. You can see across the road through the vacant lot to the other major road. On the major road, there is a checkpoint set up by GPD. They're clearly within view of the Dark Cauldron. They could have stopped by at any point. They can just drive across. They could have circled around. But since you all have been here, you have not seen one police car up and down the street. Yet they're patrolling past a checkpoint every 45 seconds. There's a car moving in one direction or another. You look to the southwest. There are more police cars moving that way, further away from you. None are actually driving past the Dark Cauldron.
Something's going on. Something's happening.
While everyone is kissing Silk's ass, while everyone is taking of the kindness that I have allowed the Vanguard to have, I learned my lesson. I allowed them to hurt me in front of people so that they seem strong. I've given everybody an enemy that they can believe in. All the Anarchs know that the Vanguard are the bad guys. That's not the truth. The person behind them are the bad guy, and we can't get to the person behind them until they believe that we are weak enough to be completely destroyed. So I've taken loss after loss. But you, who were formerly under my protection, you, who were formerly under my grace, you, who have had the freedom you have had because of me, including pushing you towards the tower. If you're not going to be Anarch, you don't deserve our freedoms. Everyone deserves the right to choose, and your choice was not us. Pushed you toward the tower, and you all screwed it up time and time again, even with me paying Silk to ignore the slights to her honor. You all keep screwing it up and costing me money, time, and effort. I'm done protecting you all. I'm done keeping you all safe. You won't be Anarch. You don't deserve our freedoms. Go serve the tower. All of you, your grace with me, with the Anarch movement, is over. Especially for you to sit here and say that Juggler is the name of power. I have been the power that has kept Juggler the figurehead.
That's my question.
I am the one who laid the Baron low. I am the one that is operating in counter product to the entirety of the Vanguard. There were 6 of them. How many are still living? The SI don't come where I don't allow them. And you know what's going to happen? The very next moment, the very next time Silk sends any of you would-be bootleggers in my direction, I will ensure that the SI storm her place and rout every last one of you. Get with the program. Respect my fucking name. And she turns around and begins moving back to her car. Unlike most Anarchs or the image of most Brujas, she's not riding a motorcycle. She's riding what Leonetti knows is an armored SUV. She gets into the back seat and it eases out into the road.
What about that thing?
You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Wait, what?
No.
What about?
Yeah, she
What about me
said
looking
what
into her
she-
soul?
What soul?
You thought we still had
Marcus is a little more
worth
frustrated
anything?
with the fact that it's been fucking 3 months or a serious amount of time, and the Anarchs now are causing their own little ruckus. We've held out our hand to everyone who has asked for help. And the Anarchs now are telling us that we aren't doing shit.
And she has the audacity. She says to us that whoever is killed, that means she didn't care to stop it. Our friend
care.
Friends, let's leave. Let's leave before
Yes.
We're going.
bombs for brains tries to kill us.
Everybody get in the Camaro.
Let's leave before the snake decides to change her mind.
Everybody get into the Camaro. We need to regroup because the Anarchs have obviously decided to create their own narrative about what the fuck was going on. And they left us swinging in the wind for the last 3-4 weeks. I've lost friends, I've lost neighbors, I've lost patriots. Fucking Jesus Christ.
I feel you. And they have the audacity to say that they control everything, that everything is under their control. They control nothing. They control nothing until the Camarilla are dead. What do they think?
And watch your tongue.
That the Inquisition will stop?
They don't control anything any more than the tower does. As many promises as Silk has made us, as many promises as anyone has made us, they have as much control as they're going to enforce. And they enforced
probably the person who's given
for weeks, while the tower tried to get some measure of control. And now the tower has fallen. They're not trying anymore. Now the Anarchs are going to step up. We're going back to the farm. We're going back to the market. We're muscling up. And we're going to figure out our own path.
If no one is going to help us, we might as well have to try to fix this problem on our own.
Obviously, the tower doesn't know what's going on, and obviously, the Anarchs don't give a shit. So, we're going to go after the SI. And then we're going to pick our next target. That's all I can think.
Go after the SI, we go after Evelyn.
Evelyn doesn't have any control. If she had any control, she would have put them down 3 weeks ago. Before Mamela, before Ben and Josh and Mason.
Yeah.
She has no control. She's just looking for us to blame
Sacrifices
for what has happened.
Made.
While we take all the fucking hits. So we go back to the factory, we muscle up, we prepare, we pick a target, and we go for it.
Got it. Well then, we're going to have to search our target. We're going to have to choose our target wisely.
Who's benefited the most?
It's actually pretty fun.
Wait, are we out?
This is actually fun.
Are we out of?
I've never had.
Are we out of
I've never decided who to kill on my own.
Yes, you are.
Haven't we?
Are we out the vicinity of the fucking those fucks?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're in the Camaro and we're headed back to the farmer's market.
I've never had the privilege of choosing my assassinations. This will be fun. So,
we're going to be trusting you to pick strong targets.
Got it.
Give it some thought.
No one's listening.
What?
She's behind everything.
Who?
Evelyn. Why can't you see it? It's clear.
Evelyn hasn't been behind a damn thing other than her own protection for a month.
She killed Mamela. She killed everyone.
She will die.
She'll die, but she's not been behind a damn thing. She has been hiding.
She will die. But first, we need to deal with... And if... Listen. There are more dangerous problems. Yes, if she is a problem, she will be dealt with. But for now, we know that the Inquisition will exist with or without her. Just depend. But
she brought the fungus among us, and we need to expunge it.
Yeah,
that's the primary goal.
Once we've gotten rid of this rot within our city, we'll get rid of its source.
And the unfortunate truth is that Silk and the Vanguard are the only ones standing with us. Silk and the Vanguard are the only ones.
What is with you people?
I mean, they're diminished.
What is with the kindred?
But that makes it easier to ally with.
Goodness gracious, we can't trust the Anarchs. No. The tower, yes, the Vanguard, we're fine with, but everyone forgets.
We can't trust.
Everyone forgets. Everyone forgets. There is an army. There is an army.
Single one of them.
Oh, no.
We can't trust the Anarchs because Evelyn is a duplicitous bitch. We cannot trust the Tower because they're greatly weakened.
They're greatly weakened, and honestly, they care more for their upper Elons than the actual people who are doing the dirty work.
So we hold them accountable.
But yes, I understand. Yes, but I understand that there is an army. However, the problem is that if you can get on our side, that is great, and it will be a great asset to us.
The Anarchs will never join us.
So as you guys reconvene at the farmer's market, all of the banding about all of the thoughts, what is the intention of the plan? What is there a plan? Do you have 15%, 25%, or you have not figured out a way forward just yet?
I know exactly how to go forward. Out of character.
Then tell us.
That's what I'm trying, but you guys keep shutting me up. No one listens to the fucking
They are actively. My character has actively said, like, what, trying to spur on what the fuck you want to say.
I'm not getting mad, don't worry, it's the bingo card.
I know, it's just
I'm talking about the bingo card. Yeah. The fucking Malkavian bingo card is amazing. But, no.
The whole house can hear you.
Yeah, okay.
The door is open.
I am... Shut... Okay, yes.
I'm not going to say a word unless it's John Lasky saying it.
What the fuck are you on about? I've heard you about this army and all that. What the fuck is your plan? Stop gibbering and speak, god damn it.
Give up on the Anarchs. Camarilla seems Silk being Silk. We can talk to her, right? Yes, she is reasonable. She's not behind this. Evelyn is. We can get the Camarilla, the Thin, and the Thin Bloods to work together. We need to unite those two. We not the Anarchs and the Tower. Not them. Not those. The people.
Well, we've already tried to attempt to opposing groups. Let's try a different angle then. I agree that the Thins will be. If we can get the Thins to work with us and you said it.
Yes, but I try not to, but that's offensive. It's offensive.
What the fuck do you want me to call him then? Because right now, I don't care. We are literally dying. If we can get them to join the Camarilla and us, that is a very, very effective fighting force. Dustborn. Sorry, there's been a lot of shit going on. Now, I need to figure out a target.
That's all we need you to do. Figure out where to point what we have. And at that point, Marcus, when they get back to the farmer's market, Marcus starts re-upping everything that he had to shut down when they ran away the first time. So cameras, computers, everything starts coming back online.
Leonetti asks, "Yo, where are your firearms? Do you have any firearms?"
Leonetti, unfortunately, all I've got is small arms. I've got 3 pistols in the whole damn building.
Dude, I will accept any one of them. I just need a gun. I have been stressed out of my mind. I just need one for temporary. Besides, this might be better. It's easier to conceal than my typical.
Leonetti gets a 9mm Glock, 19 long slide.
Okay.
All right. So as you all arm up and reinitiate all of the defenses and security measures for the farmer's market, as Nikki makes her way back to her shop as quietly as possible, considering it is late, there's a good chance you can get in from the rooftop across next door or across the street or through one of the other entrances, because it is all that she knows. It is the entirety of her undead life here in Gary. There's so much to be done there. Hopefully the guards won't notice her and she can get in and out. And while that's happening and Gigi is on her phone making calls, and while you all are plotting and planning, the reality of things dances just there, just outside of everyone's reach. There's the truth, which is the acceptance of fact. There is the reality of things, which is the consensual thing. Everyone views things in their own way, and through the hodgepodge mixture of all of those prismatic views, reality forms itself, fractured and as real as believed and as false as imagined. In that time between time where all the engines are being ignited, the tires are being turned over, the fires are being lit, time is always the thief. Time is the thief of always. And it wounds all heals and heals all that it wounds. But there's a wound, a gaping one that the coterie has not addressed in Marcus's loss, in Leonetti's loss, in Lasky's fear of loss. And saying that it is lost steals some of the fervor of it. It is not lost. Even if just a portion of what Evelyn Baron Stevens explained, even if just a fraction of it is true, it exemplifies and explicates so much of that loss hanging in the air. It ties together far too many strings and knots and chains for it to be anything but a Gordian mass, a multiplicity of drives and directors from various facets of kindred community, swirling together into one particular whole. And that whole is that the city, despite all the many years of holding off Chicago, or more specifically Chicago's prince, despite all of his years stumbling into the dark, it never gave up. It was never truly broken. There was always a semblance of hope beneath all of the hopelessness, a spark that was held close to the chest, protected by miles of thick skin, armored, developed from the abuse. But while the city, neither triumphant nor completely defeated, has remained unbroken, the kindred of the city it is clear, it is factual, have been broken for a very long time. Unity comes at a cost, comes at a compromise. And none of the kindred, none of the parties, none of the powers that were or might be are willing to compromise. And until they do, until they join, until they unite one way or the other, the broken nature of the kindred nation that is Gary will continue until there's nothing left but dust. Good night, gentlemen. Thank you all for a lovely session. I look forward to our next episode.